What's up, people? I'm just looking at the comments. Hey, just to see who's here, who's checking in. What's going on, folks? Yes, I'm finally here. And we only have 16 questions today, and that's for a reason. Usually we do around 25, well, anywhere between 24 and 27 questions a week. But what I want to do this week, because I have to like slow down a little bit. I'm just running myself raggedy. On Thursday, you know how we usually do the call-in type of shows where people can call in and get advice. We're going to do that. But of course, I have to have some questions as filler. So the rest of what would be 25, 26 questions, we're going to do on Thursday. So I haven't made the slide yet. I just came up with this brilliant idea about 20 minutes ago. But after this show, I'll get the show page up. So we'll be doing the call-in live advice for $10 on Thursday at 6 p.m. And then I'll cover the rest of the questions as well. Yeah, I actually got some sleep, girl, and I ate a lot of fruit and drank a lot of water. So I feel pretty damn delicious. So let us get started. Hold on a second. Let me get off of this page. Okay. Well, yeah, you're right. This will be 2 days in a row. What am I thinking? I must be delirious. All right. Here we go. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. That's tomorrow. I'm thinking like Thursday is like a couple of days from now. That's what I'm saying. I gotta slow things down. I have to start saying no to more to people. They're friends and family and stuff, and they need you. But I'm just one person. I can't do all this. So I'm gonna have to start telling people no. I've made that decision about 20 minutes ago as well. So let's get started here with our 16 advice questions. Those of you who don't really know the format here, people send in their questions in advance. They go right there on the bottom of the screen where it says Debsterism.com. You go there and there's a form that says get advice. You complete that form and then press send and it goes into the inbox and Surviving Dating. And my cousin will review them all and pick some to put in the column. Okay? That's how that works. So tomorrow, though, is the show where you can actually call in with your questions live in real time. But these people have sent their questions in advance. They've been selected for the show. I will read them. I will give out the answer off the top of this big head. And yeah, but it's not hard. It won't be hard, but I'm just saying, I told you I was trying to turn over a new leaf. I was trying to be nice and stuff. I don't like this shit is for the birds. I'm just not even about this life at all. So I have to go back to being me and say, oh no, what I look like? No, shit, no. What you go with? Oh yeah, my shirt. Okay, I got to show you guys my new shirt. Shit I don't have time for. Because this is my new motto. This shit, your shit, their shit, half of this shit, any of this shit, anything that doesn't have shit to do with me. Okay, that's my new motto. Okay, I don't have time for this shit, and I'm gonna be saying it to everybody. All right, so let's get started. As I go back to being my real self. Yes, Anna, wasn't it though? I say it was nice while it lasted. That's what my friends and family gonna be saying too, because I'll be like, You better figure out how somehow other way to do that, because don't involve me in it, because I don't have time for this. Is shit I don't have time for, which is your shit. Okay. Question number 1. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Irvine, California. The male is in the same age group, 28 to 34. Summary of issue. How do I tell my friend that I don't want to hang out like ever? So I met this 29-year-old guy through friends. We've only spent time together in a group setting. I am 33, so 28, 29, 31, 32. That's 5 years, huh? One time last year, we went shopping for one of our hobbies. I could tell that our shopping outing was intended to be a date, so I made it clear that we were only friends, and he hasn't made any advances since. But today he messaged me asking if I wanted to get together for lunch and to catch up. I don't want to say something that will make things awkward during future group hangouts. Okay, you 33 and you still hanging out in a group? See, what is, okay, somebody needs to explain this friend group thing to me, because I just don't get it. I don't get it. How are people that are supposed to be adults hanging out like they still in high school with a gang of folks? Friend group. What the fuck is that? Okay, so anyway, so group hangouts, but he gives me weird vibes and I don't have any romantic interest in him. Honestly, don't have any interest in hanging out with him one-on-one ever again. What do I say? You don't know how to say no? You really at 33, you can't fix your lips to tell somebody, I'm not interested. You don't know how to do that. I suggest you figure it out. And don't have any kids until you learn how to say no. Probably shouldn't even be going on too many dates either. If you can't handle something as simple as this, a 29-year-old guy who wants to ask you out and you don't want him to, you don't know, block his number. You just tell him, you need to stop texting me so much. I'm involved in something else. I'm too busy. I don't want to. There's nothing I'm interested in doing again. Things like that. And you worried about is it going to be awkward in the friend group? You're supposed to be worrying about how it's going to be awkward for you. They don't give a shit. They don't care. The one who's tripping is you, and you tripping. I mean, I just can't believe you as old as you are. Yeah, it's always some group. When it's a whole gang of folks, it's always some bullshit, some jealousy, some cattiness, some backstabbing, something or other, gossip. It's too much. It's too much. Too many personalities together is always a bad thing, just like this. Like, notice have you ever heard anything good coming out of these letters where these people have these friend groups, especially by the time they're in their 30s? Who does that? If yes, you grow the fuck up. You're supposed to have a partner, maybe a best friend, maybe two. But hanging out with 5 or 6 people and then their partners too and calling that your friend group, it's like you have arrested development, you're still in middle school. That's just ridiculous. That's like, how can anybody really get to know you and have any kind of one-on-one intelligent relationship with you, and you're always surrounded by a gang of stupid people that's always up to some nonsense and drama? Folks just do not want to grow up at all these days. That's just kind of amazing. Question number 2. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group, Caucasian from Seattle, Washington, male 28 to 34. He's also white. Summary of issue. Okay, she put the whole letter in the summary. My boyfriend thinks that if he pays the same percentage of his income, which is higher than mine, for entertainment, resulting in a higher amount of money spent, that he should have more power in our relationship and I should become submissive to him. And I want to keep the equal dynamic. We should keep paying 50-50 for everything. Okay, I don't know what you was trying to do here with all this long-winded, detailed explanation, but let us move on. So here is the long version. That was the short version. I'm 25 and my boyfriend is 28, and we both pay the rent and the utilities 50-50. This is something we both agreed on, and I also think the main necessities should be split this way. However, when it comes to planning a holiday, buying groceries, or having a night out, I simply cannot afford to keep this 50-50 rule anymore, as we both prefer going to nicer places and eating better foods. And with this ongoing inflation, all these things that I used to be able to afford even by myself not so long ago have gradually become a burden to me. I came with the proposal of splitting by equal percentage of our incomes. So instead of equal amounts, we would each spend equal values to our earnings on entertainment. He agreed, but with the condition that this granted him more power, saying that I should be submissive to him since he pays more, which I think is unfair. But I would like to hear other opinions on this matter as well. So that means y'all get to weigh in. What do you think? He says that if I want us to be equals in the relationship, we should both pay 50-50. What are your takes on this, ladies? Should he have more power in this relationship if he pays more? First of all, what you need to do is go and pack your shit and stop giving up wife privileges to a fucking boyfriend. That's what you should do. Okay? You trying to set up a situation here where he's going to be stepping up like a husband and paying this large percentage of stuff, and he's just wanting to assume that role, like, you need to submit to me. You need to circle back and tell dude, homeboy, look in the Bible, and it says if you're going to be somebody submissive, the key word is wife. I'm not your wife, so I don't need to submit to you about nothing. And even if I was, I still wouldn't do it. But I just want you to understand, you just on some bullshit right now. Talking about somebody submit to you and you a mere boyfriend. Little monkey ass, get out of here. And then the second thing is, I do not understand for the life of me what you stupid girls do when you get in these relationships with men and you doing all this work and doing everything for him and you want to pay 50-50. I wouldn't be paying a fucking dime. Nothing would I be paying. He want to go out, you gonna pay all of it. The rent you gonna pay all of it, you gonna do all of it. Because I don't have to be here. I'm here as a courtesy to you. You get to wake up and look at all of this. And you ain't married to it, so you don't have no financial or legal obligation. That means you're gonna have to pay it some other way. And that's just the way it is. I don't understand these girls stepping into these, will call themselves in a relationship where a man is supposed to be stepping up and showing them that he can take care of her and any future children they may have, and they paying 50-50 and struggling to do it. Y'all stupid. That's all I can say. Stupid. You done listen to let the Kool-Aid get to you, and you done let these men just run roughshod over you. So you come in paying half the bills and half the obligations, and they get 100% of the benefits of you living there, and you don't get shit for it. You want to pay 50%, go live with a girlfriend, okay? And watch how much less work you have to do. They're dealing with some monkey-ass man and his drama. I wish I would live with a man. I'm not doing shit. If you want me to move in with you, just understand right now, don't look for me to pay a dime unless I just want to, like buy some candy or flowers or something. But, I have enough pots and pans and stuff because, I got my new, what's that stuff called? Shoot, I can't, all of a sudden my mind went blank. But this like $1,200 worth of cookware about 2 years ago. And I love it. I love it. I gave all my other stuff away. So, I might spend some money on something like that, but that's going with me. And when I leave you, I just don't get it. Paying 50%, paying half, and he's sitting up there. Exactly. That's honey. Honey has the right idea. Y'all looking at in the chat, and that's what you understand. You cannot have a man that you look up to and respect, and he demands that you come in paying 50-50 like a goddamn roommate. Okay, trust me. When you get, if you should be stupid enough to marry a man with a 50-50 mindset, he's going to expect you to continue doing that through the marriage. And guess what? Once you start having kids, you think he's going to be doing 50-50 on the pregnancy and the labor and the delivery, of getting up in the night, nursing, childcare, diaper changes, cleaning the house, taking the kids back and forth to school, homework, bedtime, reading, baths, brushing teeth, running to the dentist, running to the doctor. Is he going to do 50% of that? The answer to that question is hell no. Is he going to be doing 50% of the birthday parties, presents and Christmas and decorating and all the other shit, going to PTA meetings and baking cookies and cupcakes for the sales for the school to raise money and do all this? Is he going to do 50% of that? Let me tell you flatly right now, that motherfucker's not going to do it. So you go in the gate, setting up a structure that is unsustainable by setting up yourself to be paying 50-50. Don't do it. If he don't want to come, as he say, come and live with me and I'm going to pay everything, then you stay where you are. Okay? Don't be giving him wife privileges and he ain't the husband. Fuck that. She should not move in with him. You're right, Anna. I don't understand it. It's like, what is up with these young girls? And they feel like it's an accomplishment if the guy says, well, let's live together. No, you dummy, you balling backwards. You giving up everything for free. And then paying half for the privilege. Your parents are not raising you right. That's all I can say. This must be the problem with having these, so many fathers missing, because they would not be allowing their daughters to have this mentality of paying half. This just don't make no damn sense. Let's move on. Question number 3. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group from Brighton, East Sussex. I can never say that word right. Sussex in the UK. The male is 35 to 41. Summary of issue. What do I do about my partner's toxic sister? Hi, ladies of the squad. Please no negatives towards my partner as he is amazing. We'll be the judge of that. Okay. And first of all, like I always say, you don't tell me what to fucking say. I say what I want to say. If you want to be trying to regulate on somebody, don't write to me. Okay. So I'm going to pretend like you didn't say that. She says it's just this one topic at the moment that gets between us, and I'm so sensitive to let it go. I've been with him for 10 years, expecting our first baby together. Yay. So you still a partner after 10 years. Okay. We have a good relationship. It's always been strong, never broken up, etc. His sister has always been toxic, not only to me, but to everyone, even her own family, especially her siblings, partners. Her sister has only recently started to speak to her again, and her brother and his partner don't speak to her for a while now. Shows how toxic she is, right? Anyway, I haven't spoken to her since the beginning of the year. My partner has been cold with her since then also because she said some rude stuff about me to him. My partner didn't address it with her properly as at the time they both was in an argument with each other. He told me, he's very open with me and tells me everything. I was upset he didn't address it with her, but I just left it and completely blocked her. We had a baby shower. I messaged her for the first time just to make sure she was coming with her children. I done this for the family and children's sake as I'm expecting. I thought we could just be civil for them. Why would you do that? If somebody's going to invite his raggedy ass sister, that should have been him. See, you fucked up, okay? She didn't say hello to me. She didn't congratulate me. She just completely blanked me the whole day. You supposed to kick a bitch out your house to treat you like that under your own roof. Say, look, monkey bitch, when you come in my house, you talk to me. You can't do that. Get your stinky ass little baby's kids and get out. That's what you were supposed to tell her. But I could tell by the way that you wrote on and on and on that did not happen. So let's see what you did. I was upset, of course. My partner just reassured me to ignore her, and this is how she's treating everyone around her. And y'all just take it. Nobody's cussed her bitch ass out. Nobody's told her about herself. You just stopped talking to her. So passive. So since then, her and my partner are back on the talking level, and she keeps calling him about the new baby coming. This is really getting under my skin. It just annoys me that she can completely blank me and speak to my partner like nothing's happening, asking what we need for the baby, etc. Does she expect to ignore me and then come to visit once the baby is here? I've told him he needs to say something to her, and it'll be nice for him to stick up for me. She hasn't said anything to you. What would he be sticking up for? You on some bitch shit right now. Which he does understand, but if he does do that, then she would cause hell for him, basically. She would make him feel like shit every time they're around, either with sarcastic comments or whatever. So that's how childish she is. I think that's the pot calling the kettle black right about now. He doesn't like arguments and is a very chill guy that gets along with everyone. So in somewhat of a sense, I feel sorry for him that she acts this way. But I can't get over the fact that I just have to ignore her and he doesn't say anything to her to back me up. Arg. What is everyone's opinion? We've just moved home and a baby's on the way, so we're in a very happy place. Obviously not. Oh, just this one topic feels like it can get between us. He tells me don't need to stress about her. Let's just ignore it. Okay, so he's a passive wuss. That's who you having your baby by. Yeah, that's why when I'm looking at when people write to me and they, start with they announce it like that. It's like obviously you haven't listened. Or at least you didn't listen to the shows where somebody else tried that trick and got chewed out. So you really think that you're gonna tell me how to answer your question? That person that can instruct me on how to answer has not been born yet. Okay, I will say what I feel like saying. And right now, I'm gonna start starting on you. Okay, what kind of woman lets another woman come in her house? I don't give a fuck if it's his mother, and treat her like that. Who does that? And you just stand there looking at her. That's why she treats all y'all stupid because you just let her do it. You're supposed to get in her face and like I said, and tell her about herself and then toss her ass out and say, don't come back and don't call my house until you learn how to fucking act and treat people. So if that takes 20 years, so be it. But one thing we're not going to have is this stuff right here. And you're not coming to my house. You're not going to have no time with my child because I don't want your toxic ass around my baby. It might be catching. Your bitchery might be like a fatal disease to my child. We're not going to have it. Brother, if you want to see your sister, you're going to have to do it someplace else. She's not to darken this door, not where I live. Am I making myself clear? And you should have said that in front of everybody so that everybody could understand the parameters under which they was going to be interacting with you now and in the future. You know, you have to regulate on people. You just can't let people treat you any old kind of way. And the fact that you and you're both, I mean, like his whole family, you know, you just withdraw and don't talk to him, but nobody said anything to her. No one's told her about herself. You guys just go along with it and it's just weak. I don't see how anybody can be a parent and not have a spine enough to speak up and defend not only themselves, but the people that they love. You better find it. You about to have a damn baby and you can't even speak up about some little simple bitch shit like this. Your kid is going to be roadkill. It's not his mother, it's the sister. And I don't care if she don't want to get between them. The sister put her between them. You know? And he just going along with it. And I had a man like that and just let somebody come up in my house and act a fool like that, then, you know, I would be giving him the side eye and be like, well, it's been 10 years and don't need to be 10 years in another day. Because one thing I cannot have as a Leo woman is no weak ass, spineless, passive man. He got to be a notch or two more on fire than me for me to respect him. I want him to have some bass in his voice. And I want him to be able to check people. You don't have to always go crazy and cuss them and stuff, but you should be able to put them in check with an attorney. You know what I mean? Greed on them. Something got to happen. But you know, and cookie face girl, see that thing like she don't want to get between them. That's passive. That's what I'm saying. She has to stand up for herself, and I don't really care who the other person is, and you know these excuses about well I don't want to feel like I'm in between them. Those are excuses for you to sit back and let other people disrespect and mistreat you. You use that as the shield, and that's your cover for why you ain't doing what you need to do as a grown ass woman. You trying to make it somebody else's fault by using that kind of logic like that. That's some bullshit. Let's move on to question number 4. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's black. The male is 35 to 41 and he's white. Summary of issue. I'm dating a guy who I don't find attractive. Hi, Deb. I'm one of your regular watchers. I went on about 5 dates with a white guy, the first time dating a white guy. So far, he's been very kind and respectful, but I do not find him attractive. He is not bad looking, but I just don't feel any excitement when I'm with him. By the way, we have not kissed or done anything physical. Do you think it's possible to have a future with someone that isn't the most attractive looking in the face? I talked to one of my girlfriends about this, and she told me looks aren't everything. It's about how the man treats you. Do you think she's right? Please give me your honest advice. I'm gonna say this. Let me just go into one of my side stories, okay? And this I was working at this law firm in San Francisco. This was ages ago. And one of the girls, she lived in a house, like a share house thing with some other young people. And, we're all about the same age. And so then she, I guess he came there I don't know why he was there, to tell you the truth, but I assume they were there to go to lunch or something like that because it was middle of the day. And so we were walking down the hall and she stopped. She introduced me to this guy. And I'm like, oh, hi, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then I went on to my desk. And then later in the afternoon, she came racing over to me and she said, remember the guy that I introduced you to? And I said, yeah, and she said, he just hasn't stopped talking about you. Now, let me tell you about this little white guy. Okay. He wasn't mugged in the face, but I'm going to tell you, he was so blonde that even his eyelashes and eyebrows, he's like 2 steps down from albino. But he had color in his skin and stuff, so it wasn't that. But I'm just saying he was that blonde, okay? Now, I've gone out with white dudes, but they usually have dark hair and look more, I don't know, Italianish, Greek, something, They had some olive complexion going on. But they were white, but whatever. Not this white. I mean, this dude was like Casper white. It was I just was like, whoa. So, but at the time I'm like, okay, whatever, because I talked to him on the phone and he was just the sweetest thing. And he just was like, he asked me where I wanted to go. So there used to be this restaurant in San Francisco at the time called Basta Pasta. I don't know if it's still there. So I met him in the city because I lived in Oakland. I drove across and I met him there and at the restaurant. And so he goes in, he orders all this or escargot and all this, the pricey shit and lobster, the little with them little raviolis and just all this stuff that I might have ordered one or two of those things, but not all of them put together. And the bill was just outrageous. And so then he paid. It turned out he worked in construction. His dad owned a construction company or something, and he was like the manager. So, he had like a position in his company, and he was making bank. And so, and the house that they lived in was his. And so, so afterwards, he says, oh, he had brought roses for me and stuff, right? So, and we walk into this restaurant, everybody's staring because, and somebody who's just so white, he looked like Casper. I'm sure they were shocked. So then we leave, and he's like, oh, let's sit in my car and talk for a while before you go back to the East Bay, blah, 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 blah. So we sit there, and this boy, he made the move, and he was trying to kiss me. Okay. First of all, I have never kissed anybody that did not really have lips. He was like, they were so thin, they just was not, nothing was, there was nothing, it just wasn't happening. And so I was like, wow, what's going on here? He was so excited though. He was so happy. He was so turned on, just breathing all hard. I was just like, oh my God, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. Now, by the same token, I'll tell you about it. I know it was funny. I had a date with this other dude. And I see I'm going all around. I'm going to answer your question when I'm giving you some examples to let you know my reference points before I give you this answer. So this other white dude I go out with, no, let's talk about the Japanese dude. Okay. He was fresh from Japan, could barely speak English. Some, but he was tall, he was cute in the face, but we couldn't really talk because he was just learning English and we made it work. But I tell you what, he took me to a Japanese restaurant and them little waitresses just could not get over the fact that I was sitting up there with this fine ass Japanese man. And they was just like, what is going on with this? But I tell you, when that boy kissed, it was amazing. I saw stars, galaxies, moons, Star Wars. It hadn't even been invented yet. I saw all kind of stuff. And I knew that was going to be a dangerous situation. So I had to stay away from him too, because he was leaving. He wanted me to go back with him to Japan. I was like, oh no, because I could see this is before that term Blasian was even invented. I would have been like Blasian babied with 10 kids because it was just that much heat. And so, you have to look at that. There's a lot of reasons to reject a man is my end game here. A lot of reasons why you would not want to be with him. It might be too exciting. He's not going to be here long enough. You don't want to get involved for a short term. It might be that he doesn't really turn you on. It might be that he mistreats you. He talks disrespectfully or whatever. He's married. He's, whatever. So there's a lot of reasons why you would reject a guy. My thing is that I would go out with him at least 3 times. The reason why I said that, because with the little white guy, it's like if he had slowed down and not try the little, the white, even the super blonde dude, if he hadn't been in such a rush, and I spent more time around him and got more attached, because the way he treated me was wonderful. It was like a princess. It was kind of amazing. Then, I would have had more of an emotional connection with him before he started trying to kiss on me. And I might have tried to, because it wasn't bad kiss. I'm not saying it was a bad kiss, but he just didn't have any lips, and I focused on that. But if you like the person, you might focus on other things like, ooh, he's doing some magic with that tongue or something. You know what I mean? You're thinking about different things. So my suggestion to you is the guy hasn't done anything wrong. Okay, he hasn't done anything bad. He hasn't disrespected you. He hasn't mistreated you. Has he been a man of his word? Does he have follow through? These are the kind of foundational things that you, as a woman in the 28 to 34 age group, should be looking at more than you looking at, is he cute? That's teenage shit. You looking at a man is like, is this sustainable? is this going to make a good husband and father? I mean, you might just ultimately decide, not to, but you might decide that, the things, the values that he brings to your life is higher than a cute face. Because how many men have you had that had a cute face? Where's the motherfuckers now? That's what I'm saying. So he's got stuff that they obviously didn't have, which is why they're gone and he's here now. Because otherwise you would have settled down with one of them, right? So cute face and you in your 30s, that's something that you should be looking past right about now. You want to be, somewhat, you don't want to be repulsed, let me put it that way. But you definitely don't want, you're not looking for them fireworks and shit like you did when you were 16. And if you're still looking like for a man with that criteria, you dating wrong for your age. That's very immature. So you get a guy a couple of chances and see where it goes. And if you still feel like you have to have somebody that's just cute in the face and all the other stuff is less important to you, well then I can't help you. Yeah, girl. Yeah, honey. He did cookie face because the girl, I mean, she came to work talking about, oh my God, he's like so in love and he wants to take you out again and this and that. And I was like, because I didn't want to lead him on, you know what I mean? But I really didn't have a solid reason to reject him. I just was at that age, I was young and silly. So, but as I got older, I realized, damn, that was a fucked up thing I did. I should have married his ass and I could have been living. I wouldn't have had to work. I wouldn't have had to do shit. He want to do everything. So, you have to think about things, but, it goes with your maturity. But, I was really young at that time. So you way older than what I was when that situation happened. Like in college, that the Japanese dude, I met him in the summer break. I was home from college and I met him and he was here. And then in the fall, he went back to Japan and I went back to Houston. So it's like, what, you looking at the age of the stories when I'm telling you, I was so young, you have like 15 years on me, at least 10. So reframe this and look at this differently. Girl, I tell you, I have lived the life of 5 people because I just want to do stuff and be everywhere and just not really let no moss grow under my feet. So I was like, all over the place. So, finding them attractive, I wouldn't be worried about that too much. Yeah, because evidently the business was very successful. And she just said he just could not stop talking about me. And I was like, see, to me that I am now, I've been like, oh yeah, let's go out again. Let's go somewhere where we need to be on a plane. Then I would have come back pregnant or married or something, because the way he was going, it wasn't going to be a long whatever. It was going to be happening quick, the way dude was making moves. So, that's another thing, too. That's another point that I had picked up. Like I always tell these girls, you dating this dude for 7 years, 5 years, 10 years and all stuff. And you like, why won't he marry me? If a dude really wants you, he going to be busting moves and try to wife you up in usually 6 to 8 months. Of course, that's too soon. You get engaged and then you still date him, plan a wedding, whatever you all going to do. But I'm just telling you, a guy who's really into you is going to be a lot different. They're going to make it known. I made a short about that and it's up on the channel. Or maybe I put it on TikTok. I don't remember where I put it. But, all this stuff about, what are we? Where is this going? You don't have to do all that because they're going to be steady telling you. They don't want you to forget what you are and where this is going. So let's move on. I'm glad it's only 16 questions because now I get to use up all my time on side stories. It sounds like the girls do too. 30-something years old talking about my friend group. That's Arrested Development too. So they neck and neck, honey. I'm not giving the women no more credit. Question number 5. This is a young lady in the 35 to 41 age group from Manchester, England. Summary of issue. I'm going to sound like a horrible person here, but I know I need some words. I have a friend I made when our children were at nursery school. They're now at secondary school and no longer friends. What secondary? Is that like junior high? Middle school. In England, in the UK. Secondary school, like junior high school? I don't know. It could be high school. I don't know what it is. Somebody who lives over there tell me. Oh, wait. I skipped something. The mom wants to meet up at least once per half term. I found it really hard to deflect invitations for my daughter to meet up with hers, but switched it to the pair of us going out for brunch instead, as my daughter felt obligated but didn't really want to attend. The thing is, I dread going to these brunches. She's a lovely woman and has been very thoughtful, but we really don't have anything in common. I would never be the one to instigate the meetings and would always end up feeling guilty when she pushed for them. She'd often comment about how long it had been, etc. I'm really not a brunch kind of person and would much rather spend any free time I have with my nuclear family, sound sad as that may sound. We've gone 6 months without seeing each other, and I've ignored the last few texts, feeling worse and worse each time I do. Passive. I know it isn't fair to keep ignoring her, but how can I say that I really don't want to meet up anymore? I've written out a few texts and then not sent them on more than one occasion. I can't say anything that I can write that isn't going to make her feel horrible. Who gives a shit? Why are you worried about her feelings? It's probably 7 to 12. They usually have pre-K. Oh, so primary, so secondary school is okay. Thank you. Please help me write a gentle response that gets me out of having to continue with a friendship I really don't want. Anything must be better than sending nothing. Well, you write for something. You use the word gentle. Deb don't do gentle. I can't tell you how many different jobs I've had where I told somebody about themselves and got written up about it because they're like, well, your language. And I didn't use profanity. It is junior high? Okay. It's not, I didn't like cuss or nothing, but they just like, they don't want you to be like so firm with your words and so definitive and for your boundaries to be so strong. Because I'll tell people, I will absolutely not do that. And I don't want you asking me for that anymore. I'll say stuff like that to people. Or I tell them, I was talking, you need to stop talking while I'm talking. That's rude. I say stuff like that. And the people, they face gets red because nobody ever talked to them and nobody told them about themselves. And I'm like, shouldn't have done it then, and then we wouldn't be having this problem. But yeah, then the supervisor's like, well, they came crying to me about it, and so I'm going to write you up. I'm like, whatever. I really don't care because I said what I said, and I can't take it back. So, and I bet you they're going to leave me alone too. So, you write this, ask me for gentle, girl, I can't help you with that. All I could tell you is I would send her back a text. I would say, we haven't seen each other for 6 months. I want to know why you think that we should continue this friendship. Because we really don't have anything in common now that our kids are older. And then you wait for her to send you a response back. And then you say, well, I'm thinking that it's time for this to end. And so, but I've enjoyed our time together. Our relationship that we had, whatever you want, however you want to phrase it. And thank you and goodbye. Now that is about as gentle as you're going to get out of me. Because, me, when she called, send a text to her about let's get together, I'd just be like, no, I don't want to. And she would be like, well, why not? I said, because I just have nothing in common with you. I don't feel like it. I'd rather do anything. I'd rather watch paint dry than be with you. And then she would be like all insulted when I'd be like, well, I just want to make myself clear so you understand. Don't call me no more. Oh. Yeah, breakup text. That works for me. Whatever. So like I said, that's about as gentle as you're going to get out of me and hope that helps. At least gives you something. But, usually if gentle is too soft and the people don't get it. So that's why I just skip right over that and just go right to direct hardcore and just make it real clear. I don't have nothing in common with your bitch ass and I'm not trying to spend any time with you. Ta-ta, deuces. And then that's it. It's over. Yeah, watching paint dry might be more exciting. Let's move on. Question number 6. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group from Cardiff, Wales. The male is also 28 to 34. Summary of issue. How to tell the person you're dating you want them to put more effort into their appearance. Oh, God. Hi, Deb. I watch you all the time from Wales, but I never say anything in the chat. I need some advice now. I'm 30 and have been dating a 31-year-old guy for about 2 months, and we get along so well. He makes me laugh, pays for our dates, even when I offer to pay because it's my turn. Okay, you on some bullshit. Tells me sweet things like, I got you, I want you to feel safe, and has absolutely made it known that he's very attracted to me. I really like his personality. I respect what he does for work and admire his work ethic. When he is around his friends, I can tell that he's very well liked and respected. There's just one thing that bothers me, and that holds me back from going all in, because I think if I did go all in, he would want to make me his girlfriend. I don't like the way he dresses or grooms himself. He is a big guy, and we went out to a concert, and he wore sweatpants, and his long hair was all disheveled. The whole time he was telling me how good I looked, how he liked how I did my hair, and the top I was wearing. He would kiss me, and I kissed him back because it feels natural to kiss him, but I couldn't help but notice the stares we were getting. He noticed them too, but said it made him feel good to have me by his side. But for me, I honestly felt embarrassed because he looked, frankly, a bit frumpy. I know if he put effort into his appearance, he would feel a million times better, and I would feel more confident in building a relationship with this man. He even asked me after the date when we were cuddling on the sofa if I was embarrassed to be seen in public with him, so I think he knows he didn't dress to impress that night. I think he has a hard time with his style because of his body type, but I've seen a lot of plus size men dress very well, and I just want him to feel confident. I guess my question is, how do I politely encourage him to update his wardrobe? Is it selfish of me to ask him to dress differently? Well, yeah, this is simple because I did this with the man I later married. Let me tell you how that happened. When I met this boy, okay, I don't know what he was like, stepped out of a Superfly movie. He had on these like brick red, bell bottom looking pants, flare legs, I think they call them, pants, some reddish matching colored pimp socks. You know, the nylons with the little lines? They used to call those pimp socks in my day. And this paisley gold and red and some other color paisley shiny satiny looking shirt. I never seen anything that looked such like a 1960s pimp in my life. And then he had this long ponytail that was like a Jerry curl or some shit. It just looked nasty. But and he had that big beard. I know I told you all about that beard that he had. That Wolfman looked like shit was nesting in that shit. I looked at him and I was horrified because I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, my brother said he met the man that's perfect for me, and this is it. I was so confused. I was so confused, and so I'm looking. And I mean, he wasn't. I mean, my brother set it up, so I was gonna go through it. And it's my big brother. I respect him and all that. So I'm going through it, and he was perfect. I mean, perfect gentleman, attentive, respectful. I mean, he everything. Introduced me to his relatives. They all looking at me like, "Oh, hey, baby." You know how those other women do. And so I'm doing. I mean, everything else was perfect, but I just could not get over that look. That look and the way he dressed, it was just horrible. He didn't stink or anything. He wasn't sweaty, but I swear he looked like he stepped out of a Superfly movie or them black exploitation films. And I was just horrified. I didn't even know what to say. So, the date's over. I leave because I had met him there. And I leave, and my brother, he's like, call me as soon as you get home. Tell me what happened. So I called him. I told him, well, I met him. He was really nice. His family was really nice, but, and then I unleashed all them buts about that beard and that greasy looking Jerry curl ponytail and that polyester shirt and them polyester red pants and the red nylon pimp socks. And I told my brother, I can't do it. I don't understand what in the world you saw in him. I can't, I'm done. Okay, so my brother says, okay, I'm gonna call you back tomorrow. So I found out years later. Now I'm telling you the story in the order that it happened, but I did not find out this part that I'm about to tell you now until about 6, 7 years later when they both came clean. So what happened was my brother, he had called my brother, said, man, this and that. And he was just so excited, he was happy. And my brother's like, well, I have to tell you, she wasn't feeling you. And my brother's like, he was like deflated. And they said, why? What did he do wrong? And my brother said, no, it wasn't you did anything wrong. It's just like, she always liked some kind of clean cut dudes. And you just what you doing coming in there with a ponytail and this and that. I guess they hadn't seen each other for a while. And because my brother was down in LA and this was up here. And so then he says, well, what do I need to, so my brother told him that I like the little beard that goes like here. If you're gonna have a beard, it can only be this, not all this fur face stuff. And that he yeah. No, that's my brother's word, jive turkey. And then he cut his hair. He had a nice little fade. It was all on the sides like that. And he cut all that Jerry curl out. And then when he put all this fur off his face, you could see that he had dimples, right? Nice face, nice. But you couldn't see any of that under all that fur. And then my brother told him that I like turtlenecks, blazers, and slacks. And that's what he came dressed in. So my brother said, give him one more chance, right? Give him one more chance. Just for me, just give him one more chance. I was like, okay, good Lord, you're going to owe me in my next life. I swear to God. So he comes, he's like, okay, he's going to come and pick you up. You guys going to go on the date. I'm like, okay, fine. So he comes and he knocks on the door. You know, I'm holding my breath because I'm like, oh my God. Oh, here we go. And then I opened the door and it was like the angels started singing. Ah! Light was shining. It was just all beautiful. And, you know, and it's like you could see he smiled at me and he says, hello? What's going on here? Why did this freeze? Oh, okay, there we go. And he says, hello? And I was looking at him like, because I couldn't believe it was the same person. And I don't know. I couldn't even speak. I just blinking at him because it was like he transformed into somebody completely different. And you could see that he actually had a nice little body, very muscular and trim, just like I like. But I couldn't tell under them Superfly clothes. And, you know, like I said, a nice face and everything. And I was like, what? Is this who this is? And it's like a different person. But then that was it. You know, I went out with him and the rest is history. My brother was like, see, I told you. You should trust your brother. I'm like, yeah, you know, right there. You sending me out to on a date with Tarzan or some shit. I don't know. I wasn't feeling dude. But that's how that happens. And so it's a very simple thing for you to tell him, today is your makeover day. And you're gonna have to come out of pocket. Okay? Because you're gonna go and you're gonna take him and say, I'm gonna buy you an outfit. You're just gonna get one. You're gonna set a trend though. You're going to take him to a store where they have clothes for men who fit his, you know, that fit his size. And you're going to buy him one outfit. It doesn't have to be like a suit. It could be like a shirt and some pants or something simple. Okay. You're going to do that. And then you're going to drag his ass to a barber and you're going to get his hair cut, his beard shaped up and get him a face. You know, they massage their face and do all this little stuff here. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to let him, then you're going to have reservation somewhere and you're going to go out in public so that people can look at him and see him and give him compliments. That is going to be what turns this around. He's going to need positive reinforcement and positive feedback. And, you know, be sure to take pictures and tell people to take pictures of you all together and selfies, all kind of shit, right? You want to create memories of the day that he transformed from an ugly duckling into a swan. That's what you're going to do. Okay, you want to change, it's going to be up to you to fund it. And then the rest will be history. Because now, once he sees how good he looks and the reaction that he gets from people, it's going to make him feel good and he's going to want to keep that up. And then he'll do the rest on his own. That's very simple. But you have to get him started because he probably doesn't know how to, you know, what to do. And if, you know, you like I said, you know, we're looking at a society where a lot of young people are growing up in foster care. Ain't anybody teaching them nothing like that. They're learning, if they're not learning on their own for some friends or some friends' parents or something, then they just going through life. You know, they might be smart and get scholarships to college and all this kind of stuff, but that does not mean that they understand social mores and have those kind of, you know how to dress in certain situations and stuff like that. They don't have those skills. That's the same thing that's happened with a lot of young hood-born young black kids, very smart and got scholarships to like Harvard, Yale, and all these places like that. And they got there and they really didn't fit in because they didn't know how to dress and they didn't know, you know, how to play the sports and stuff and do the stuff that the mainstream kids was doing. They didn't fit in. So it is a thing, but this is an idea, and tell them that's makeover day. And you get your credit card ready or save up your money and make it happen. Okay. There's no reason if you have a guy who's got all these great traits and treats you this well for you to kick him to the curb over some sweatpants. That situation can be easily remedied. You got to get into a man's head. All men have an ego. So you set it up so that his ego he gets positive ego food from this change that you're going to initiate. And then you won't have to tell him anything. You probably end up jealous because he'd be dressing so fly and go join the gym and lose weight and everything. And then be women all over him. Then you're going to be like, oh my God, I wish I just had let him wear those sweatpants. Let's move on. Question number 7. This is a male, 35 to 41, from Mesa, Arizona. Female also in that same age group. Summary of issue. My girlfriend dismisses me whenever I talk about my interests. Am I wrong to be losing interest in this relationship? We are 35 me and 36 her, so we are not kids. Whenever I get excited about something regarding my interests, I get shut down by my girlfriend, and it makes me feel undervalued. One of my interests is pro wrestling, which I've watched since I was a kid. Recently, there has been a storyline that I've gotten interested in and have gotten excited about. Whenever I would bring something up about it, she would look completely disinterested. The other day, I sent a short YouTube video about the storyline I was excited about, and she replied with, I know this is something you really like, but it's just not my interest. Sorry. Wow, how rude. I felt defeated. I would think that a partner would at least be somewhat engaged in their partner's interest, even if they don't really fully like what it is. Asking questions, etc., enjoying seeing their partner excited about whatever they are talking about. I started to have second thoughts about this relationship. Not exactly for this reason alone, but this reason contributes to me not feeling like I can be myself, my full self around her. I can understand that because you're feeling judged, and that's not a comfortable feeling. Would like to get advice. Thank you in advance, Deb and Candace. Yeah, that's extremely disrespectful. What I would do if I were you is bring it up before you break up. Because, again, don't be passive. I'm tired of these passive ass men. You need to say, look, how come every time I talk about something I'm interested in, I have to get some bitch ass response from you? And you act like you would be more interested in doing anything else other than listening to me. What kind of way do you think that makes me feel? How do you think that's going to make me want to continue to be in a relationship with you? I'm looking at you like you bored by everything that comes out of my goddamn mouth. So, I mean, what do I need you for then? And she's going to be shocked. She's going to sit you looking at you with the Pikachu eyes and Pikachu face. Like, right? Say, you better straighten up and understand that your bitch ass is not the only one in the goddamn relationship. When I talk about something, you better fake interest. If you can't fake it, then we don't need to be together. Just like I do with that shit you like to talk about. Whatever stupid shit she likes to talk about, it's time for you to fling that in her face too. You say I'm going to talk about some shit on TikTok or Instagram or something, some music person or some book or needlework or something. Well, whoever knows whatever she's interested in. But you make fun of what she's interested in too to let her know. You ain't the only one bored by the other person's conversation, but at least I have enough respect to treat you with the dignity that you deserve as a girlfriend. You don't have the same. So, your ass is on thin ice right about now. I want you to understand. I'm not really seeing where the value is in this relationship for me. And let her explain that. And if she can't come up with an explanation, then just say, well, I think we should just break up. And then break up and go find a woman that appreciates you. Because this is some stupid shit right here. Men, what they do, men do talk about stuff we trust. We're not interested in at all. They want to tell you about the engine and how it was backfiring and the points they had to set on the spark plugs and, this and that and every detail about when they swapped out the gears on their motorcycle. Just all kind of stuff. Nobody cares. Seriously. But you know what? When you look, just like he said, when you see the person that you love excited about something they love, the respectful thing is to give them 10 minutes of your time. It's 10 fucking minutes, and it's going to make a big difference in the relationship. Especially if you ask questions about it. They want to talk about fishing. Well, why is that? Why do you use that fly versus this one over here? What's the difference in a different kind of fish, or what do you have that many for? And let her explain. You don't give a shit. You're not going to just no scaly, slimy ass fish and sitting out there in the mud and dirt and stuff with all the mosquitoes and trying to catch a fish when you can just go to Safeway. You know what I mean? And they have them still alive at the Chinese market. You just go over there and say, "Oh, I'll take that one." Just like going fishing, but it's in a tank. It's already there. So that's what he likes. And asking a few questions about it gives him a chance to, show his knowledge and talk about his little hobby and stuff. 10, 15 minutes, is that going to kill you? I think people don't really, think about it. She didn't say he was obese. She just said he was larger. And you got to realize white people's idea of overweight and black people's idea of overweight are very different. Okay, just so keep that in mind before you start making all these big judgments. Okay. Let's move on to question number 8. Female 28 to 34 from Montreal, Canada. Male 22 to 27. Oh, so you dating a younger dude? I don't think that's a good idea. Summary of issue. I went on the worst date ever, but proud I asked to leave an hour in. I'm 28 and I went on a date with a 26-year-old guy I matched with on a swipey thing. That's how you know she listens to this channel. Because nobody else calls it that but me. We went to a local bar for a first date. He showed up drunk, which I realized 20 minutes in when he started being rude and slurring. He was rude to the waiter. He might have been high, not drunk. He was rude to the wait staff and making comments about the place in a negative way and saying they should hurry up and made remarks about the place not being that good. He then wanted to go to a gig afterwards, but was telling me to walk faster and hurry up eating, etc. Wow. He then made a comment that I was easy and a garden tool out of nowhere because he was drunk, which is when I said I'm leaving. I felt really uncomfortable by all this, and I'm not someone who sleeps around at all and have been in 2 long-term relationships. This was all in the space of the first 45 minutes. Wow, he didn't waste no time, huh? I told him I'm leaving after 45 minutes and going home by myself, and I no longer felt comfortable with him. Also, he was drunk, and I'm not enjoying myself. Later, sent him a message calling him out on his behavior. His response was, sorry then, glad I had the courage to leave. Anyway, I'm just sharing my experience. Be careful out there, ladies. Always set boundaries when you have had enough, and remember you can leave whenever. I have blocked him last night and reported him on the swipey thing so no one else has to suffer with him. Good for you. Good job. Now, see, that's called being assertive. Excellent, because all the people before you tonight were wusses. Okay. What did I see here? There was one thing that stood out to me. Oh, we went to a local bar for a first date. That was a mistake. One thing you will hear on this channel, I never recommend bars or alcohol for the first date. You need to have all your faculties so that you can assess reasonably and realistically what kind of motherfucker you dealing with. You don't never go to a bar and be drinking on your first date. The only drink you should have is something that's non-alcoholic, soda, water, tea, coffee, something like that. Milkshake, whatever. But one thing you're not going to do is be tossing back shots and having mixed drinks and all that kind of stuff. See, when you start drinking, which a lot of dudes want, it throws off your reason and your boundaries get a little looser. That's what they're after because it gives them an advantage. Don't give it to them. Okay, you want to go get drunk after the date with your girls or something, that's a different thing. Or go home and have them, tell your girls to come over and bring out, bust up some bottles of wine and have at it. But one thing you do not do is go get drunk around a man that you don't even really know that well. And sometimes not even the ones that you think you know, like your male friends and stuff. Same shit. They're going to take advantage. So you got to be careful with that. I don't trust men with alcohol. There's bad things be happening. So, that was your main mistake. If you had insisted on having a date somewhere else against where there was no alcohol, you would have got to really see him in a way that really wasn't influenced by alcohol. You could have had conversations and stuff. And so, like I said, you don't know that he was drunk. I mean, you're saying he was drunk, but he could have just as well have been high on something. But you can't know that now because you were sitting there and y'all tossing back drinks and shit. Yeah, I'm not drinking with no man. I don't know. Not doing it. Like I said, you can't really trust the ones that you think you do know because they be doing some sly shit too. Let's move on. Question number 9. This is a female 18 to 21. She's of mixed racial heritage from Akron, Ohio. The male is 22 to 27, and he's black. Summary of issues. How do I end things with my new boyfriend who doesn't respect boundaries? Okay, new boyfriend, you 18 to 21, and he's 22 to 27. Let's see how old are y'all. For context, I have not dated anyone or been physical with someone before my current relationship. My boyfriend is 24 and I'm 21, and our relationship is fairly new, but I have already felt disrespected. There have been many occasions where I say no, and he keeps pushing for me to say yes. And you stayed with him? On this channel is a video called When They Don't Respect Your No. I want you to listen to it because I go into a whole bunch of explanation about how that, why they do that and what you should do in response. When they ain't trying to hear no or something like that. But that's the title of it. An example is his constant request for suggestive photos. I said I wasn't comfortable with that. Then I finally gave in because I wanted him to leave me the hell alone. Typical weak ass woman. That's why they keep doing that. All you had to do when he kept asking you and not respecting your no is hang up and block him. But no, you all be just so desperate for the attention. You don't stay, keep talking to him and let him keep hounding you and keep disrespecting you when you already said no. You only need to say it one time. By the time they ask you for the same thing again, after you've already said no, you're supposed to take action, ladies. That means you block them, you delete them, and you go on with your life. See, I don't understand this behavior. It just creates drama. He's already, this shows he's a disrespectful little jerk. And you just kept fucking with him anyway and calling him your new boyfriend. He's a fucking jerk. Okay, but immediately after, so she gave him some because she wanted him to leave her alone. He immediately started demanding more. Of course he does. That's how they do. They always push the envelope. Today we met for lunch after I had not seen him in a couple of weeks. Weeks. We are medium distance. I made a point not to ride in the same car as him, and that didn't seem to go over well. He kept pushing for me to ride with him, and I told him no. Then he was an hour late to our lunch date. At this point, I wanted to break things off because it was obvious to me that he would have been on time, if not earlier, if he was driving me. I would have been trapped and had to give in eventually. Just see, but then he was an hour late. Why were you still there? See, when you don't respect yourself, it's kind of really hard for me to defend you in a situation like this. Because, repeatedly I'm seeing where you're not respecting yourself and your boundaries don't really mean anything. As soon as they get mashed a little bit, you get a little pushback, then you fold like a bad poker hand. This is not how you handle yourself in life, young lady. You cannot be like this. Let's see what else you did wrong. I had enough. I told him never to ask for photos again. He gave a somewhat okay apology. I told him that ever since we were nookily active, I felt objectified. He didn't acknowledge that at all and moved on. Then I made it clear that when I say no, I mean it. Don't push me anymore. I thought I had communicated clearly and I wasn't asking for much. I thought he was receptive and he said it was right to bring these issues up. His main excuse was that he never really dated someone before and he wasn't sure what to say and do in some situations. But here's the thing. I've never dated either, and I have had horrible experiences with men in the past. It wasn't a valid excuse because I would never do the things or say the things that he said to me just because I was inexperienced in dating. I'm writing here because the end of the date was the cherry on top. He walked me to my car. I purposely parked right in front of the restaurant outside seating area in case something bad happened or just to make sure he wasn't so handsy. He asked if we can go back to my apartment to, quote, fool around. I said no. I said no for two reasons. One was that my apartment was a mess because I just got back from my brother's wedding. The other one was I simply didn't want to. I say this and he seemed surprised. I guess what he does, he pushes for me to give in. Of course he did. Because you did it, you gave in before. So, that's why it was easy for him to keep pushing. I became so angry, but I kept my cool. I said no. We just had a conversation about when I say no, you need to understand it means no. He goes, I know, and you're right, but what if we just see how we feel after we watch a movie or something? I came all this way to see you. I wouldn't have come here if we didn't spend time together. I was stunned. This fucker. Once again, I don't raise my voice or escalate. I was silent for a while, then I said no. And now you're guilt tripping me and trying to make me feel bad. You didn't really listen to me at all. It's about time you figured that out. So he went through his excuses and apologies that I now know mean nothing. But he just kept saying, we'll wait and see, just message me. He wanted her to wait an hour to see how she felt. I decided I wasn't going to continue with the relationship. I was going to send him a message when I got back to my place. I wanted us to go our separate ways. But just as I was about to send it, I get a lovely little text saying, isn't it funny that I'm in your apartment complex right now? Wow. I did not respond. Not only did this man disrespect my physical and sexual boundaries, he was invading my sense of privacy and safety. I did not want to see him again in person to end things. That's right. You don't do it in person. And I also don't want to text him to break up and then have to show up unexpectedly. I never want to ghost anyone, but I just don't know what else to do. You're going to ghost him. I feel extremely used because this man took my V card and kept pushing me to not use C's. I also know he has a gun. I don't think he would ever use it, but I don't think any person thinks that someone they care about would hurt them. I'm not chancing it. Sorry for such a long letter. Please give me some advice. There's no advice to give you other than what I already said. You know, when you say no to a man, your words, well, in any situation, even if you say yes, your words and your behavior have to match. If you say no, but you just, still there, you letting them touch on you, you have bashed his head in with something or something like that, then, you're sending a mixed message. And once you send a mixed message, it becomes confusing for people. Whether you're the man or the woman, it becomes confusing. So in a situation like this, one thing you young ladies have to get into your heads is when you say no, and you have to say no the second time about the same thing, it's time to end that relationship because he's not trying to hear no. I think that's what the title of the video is called, when he's not trying to hear no or something. Anyway, whatever it is, something like that. Listen to no, say no, respect it, something along those lines. But anyway, you need to listen to that and understand when you say no, that is a boundary. That's the line in the sand. Anybody who keeps pressing to try to get you to move the line or to erase the line completely so they can get what they want from you is a problem. It's a problematic individual, okay, because they don't respect you at all. They're there simply to use you to get whatever it is that they want. And so many young girls don't get that. You thinking, well, I just want him to be happy. I'm just going to give in because he keeps asking me this and that. No, he's not supposed to have the opportunity to keep asking you. You're supposed to say, look, I already told you once. Now I had to tell you twice, this relationship is over. Because I'm not going to be going through this bullshit with you or any other man. When I say no, God damn it, that's what the fuck I mean. And so you whining and crying and trying to convince me otherwise, it shows me what an asshole you are. And so I don't want to date assholes. So bye. This is over. Don't call me. And go on your phone and block him. It's that simple. One thing is, if you don't respect yourself, you don't have boundaries around you to make sure that the people respect you, then you're going to always get walked on, walked over, and disrespected because you don't respect yourself. Okay? I know this sounds harsh, but this is reality. This is the world that you're living in. You start trying to get out here and tangle with these men and date with them and stuff. You have to be able to say no, and you need to back your shit up. Your behavior and your words must match. Okay? I don't know what else to tell you. And you didn't do that. You was well wishy-washy. You finally got it together in the end. But, in the beginning, when you were trying to set the tone and the pace of the relationship, you let him play all the cards, like giving in and acquiescing to what he was talking about. Let's move on. Question number 10. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's black from London. The male's 35 to 42. He's white. Summary of issue. I dated him. The man I dated came back after we parted ways. Any advice on this situation? There's this guy, I'm 32, he was 35, that I sort of dated a couple of months ago. The interest was mutual. We went on many dates. We clicked and had great chemistry. But as we got closer, he kind of said that I need to lose more weight. Insert a specific number. So that we can be official. So you need to lose, let's just say 20 pounds. Wait, you in London. What do they say? Kilos? I don't know how much. Wait, a kilogram is 2 point something pounds. So probably, let's just say 10 kilograms. Okay. About 20 pounds, 22 pounds. Deb, I have hormonal issues and losing weight has been a struggle for years, even though I finally figured out a way to lose that weight. Still sort of normal people though. And he knew that. He thought I wasn't trying hard enough. I don't know. When we first started dating, I was at a point where I felt comfortable enough with my progress and how my body hits the dating. I don't think I'm even at the crazy level of overweight. I probably need to lose 7 to 8 kilograms to reach normal weight. I don't know if that's too big for some. So that's 14, 16, 17, 8, 18 pounds. After he told me that, I felt like he wasn't really content being with who I was. It wasn't like I had no progress. I put no effort in at all, but it made me feel like he won't accept me for who I am and not willing to grow together or support me on my journey. It felt like he wanted the finished version of me, and honestly, it hurt me and made me question myself. Supposed to get rid of him. What you questioning yourself for? I thought about it, told her that maybe he should find someone else that already fit his standard because clearly he wasn't happy with who I was. Because of this he would become unhappy, and I would feel like I'm being pressured to be perfect standard for someone else. And the fact that he used my weight as a criteria to be able to be in a relationship with him was not nice. I don't think that losing weight specifically to date someone is a healthy approach in a relationship. I had been doing it for me. And now that it became a requirement for me to be loved, that was disappointing. So we parted ways. Now, after about 2 months, he came back and apologized and said that he'd been taking the time to reflect on himself and think about how insulting that was and how he was so immature to think that way and wants to make things right. He said that we should grow together instead of him expecting me to change into who he wants me to be. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to lower their standards because I'm sure I'm good enough for someone out there. I want someone that's clearly fine with being with who I am. I like him honestly, but would it be healthy for me to give him another chance? What should I say in this situation? Think in advance. You should tell him, well, I'll see if I can work you into my busy dating schedule. But it's like for me like trying to just date only you and be your girlfriend or something like that. Oh no, you have to jump through so many hoops and circles and over so many bars and fences. I can't even think straight about how many that's gonna be. Do you want me to just date you here and there occasionally, just have some conversation? We ain't fucking no. I could tell you that. That's off limits. So if you still want to hang out with me and stuff, then those are the parameters. I'm gonna be seeing other men, and I'm not gonna sleep with you. So are you okay with that? He's of course gonna say no, and then you'll be off the hook. But you want it to be a decision that he made. See, since he's coming back trying to act like he's not shallow no more, we full well know that he is. Just put him to the test. That's how you do that. After he a dust ball. Yeah, I don't even know if he's at the level of ball. He's just a dust mite. Question number 11. This is a female 35 to 41 from Fort Worth, Texas. The male's 28 to 34. It's another younger woman. Younger man. Wondering if it's time for me to leave my husband. My husband's 31 and I'm 38, and we've been married for 2 years and dated and lived together for 5 years before getting married. We have been having the same arguments over and over for the last 3 years, but it seems to have gotten worse over the last year or so. He's yelling more and admits the same things that hurt my feelings and tear me down because I, quote, don't treat him with respect, end quote. Constantly dismiss his reality, end quote, and don't respect his boundaries, so why should he respect mine, end quote. He dreads being alone with me. I'm just a tool and a means to an end at this point. Make my food, clean my dishes, do my laundry, and I'll make sure to give you the money to pay my half of the bills. See what I mean about this half shit? All I ask you to do are the basics, and you can't even do that. Any other woman would kill for what I have given you. Well, then you just go on over there and let them do that, because I'm not trying to be working myself to death for a motherfucker that wants me to pay half, and then I do all that work too. No, we're not going to do that. You just pack your little hush puppies and get on. Your kids, your Walmart specials, whatever you wear, and you go. We got into another fight last week, and I tend to shut down during our fights, and I can't speak because I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing. Answer me, he says. It just makes me more irate when you sit there like a brick wall. Don't make me come over there and shake you again, end quote. Or dismiss me one more time and you really see the ugly side of me. You never ask yourself why I treat you like shit. It's because of how you make me feel. Noted, bitch. Chores will be waiting for you because no matter how much I help, you won't ever stop and see that I'm trying to make your life easier. You may have paid for half of this house, but you have not done anything to maintain it. You wouldn't even be here if I didn't keep pushing you to move forward with your life, end quote. Don't get me wrong, he does a lot. He worries about our financial future, though I make sure our bills are paid on time. He takes care of car maintenance. He knows how to decorate the house and fixes things around the house, etc. Okay, so why are you giving him credit for doing this basic shit? That's just basic shit. I feel like this is borderline abuse. It's not borderline, it is. And it's not like he has hit me or anything like that. See, this is somebody who doesn't understand emotional and verbal abuse. I just feel lost and like I can make this work if I just really listen and make him feel important in the ways that matter to him. He won't go to counseling with me because he doesn't understand why I need to talk to someone else when the problems will be solved if I just learn to communicate with him better and don't shut down. I'm the problem. I've asked him to stop the name calling and insults, but he won't because of how I treat him. No, he won't because he doesn't want to, because he still gets all the advantages of you being there no matter how he treats you, because you just are spineless and weak. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, she's in an abusive relationship. You shouldn't talk to her like that. Yes, I should. You know why? Because nobody else is. They all coddling her and, like, oh, he's so mean to you, this and that. No, you know why he's mean to you? Because he wants you to grow a fucking spine and stand up for yourself. That's how it is when people are, they're kind of done with you. but they don't really want to break up. They want you to do it. That's how they treat you. And they're waiting for you to get a fucking clue, stand up for yourself, and have some boundaries. And say, you know what? I'm tired of you talking to me like I have paws on the tail. And this shit here, that whatever time I wasted with you is over. I will be going to the divorce court. We're gonna sell this bitch ass house and everything else that we own jointly. And I'm gonna deuce out because I'm done here. Well, he probably has somebody else. That's typically, I'm not saying he does, but that's typically how they act because they're trying to push you away. They want you to get enough sense of yourself and have enough dignity about yourself that you leave. Instead, she's like, "Oh, it's my fault. It's I just feel like he would stop doing this because it's because of how I treat him and stuff like that." So she's weak in the mind. She doesn't have any boundaries. She has no respect for herself. And if you don't have none, like I said an hour ago into the show, you don't have any respect for yourself. You have no right to expect anybody else to respect you. They're not going to do it because you don't do it. You have to model how you want people to treat you. Not like you're teaching them, but by having your boundaries and standing up for yourself and saying no and, that's unacceptable, things like that. They learn anyway. It's not like a direct lesson, but they get to see, okay, well, she ain't about the bullshit, so let me straighten up my act, or that, or they just disappear. But she didn't do that. So, and going to counseling, that's useless. And he wanted to do all that work and stuff. See, it's like he's intentionally, I honestly believe that there's someone else in his life that he wants to be with. But he doesn't, he wants her to leave him so he can go around saying, she left me, and, using that as an excuse to wind his way into other women's beds. Question number 12. This is a female in the 20-34 age group from the UK. Same issue. I am eternally single. I'm just trying to understand why most people seem to find it so easy to form relationships, whereas I have long periods of singledom punctuated by brief dysfunctional liaisons with emotionally repressed / retarded men, which last a matter of weeks before being plunged into another interminable period of singledom. It makes me feel I'm not a proper adult and that life is rather pointless. Not sure what I'm looking for here, but please don't suggest I do online dating. You will never hear that come out of my mouth. Or speed dating or join a walking group, because believe me, I've tried it all. Also, please don't comment to say you've been married for 25 years, but if your partner died, you have to spend the rest of your days on your own. Well, I think most people here are single. I mean, there's probably some that's been married that long. I don't know. I miss companionship. I miss nook, and I'm fed up of being solely responsible for everything. Well, it's your shit. Who else is this thing supposed to be responsible for it? And I understand that our relationships aren't perfect, but the vast majority of people prefer to be in one they're not. No, they don't. I don't know who you be hanging around with. No, they don't. That's why people just be doing hookups. They ain't not trying to be in a relationship. Are you confused? You look at this shit all kind of crazy. And not only that, when you look at these people in these relationships, you think about how many people there are like me online and in print everywhere, where people are writing in about their relationship problems. And you think that everybody prefers to be in that bullshit? No, people want to be happy. And sometimes, like seriously, most of the time, it's better to be single. You're going to be happier that way because these people they just bring the drama. They just bring the drama and they bring problems. Confusion, agony, heartbreak, and drama. Not to mention the occasional STI. Ooh, yeah, but she's seeing it as, like all these people are in a relationship, and that she's equating the fact that they're in the relationship with them being happy. See, that's her mistake. The leap in logic, which is not borne out by facts. All these people that write in are in relationships, and not one of them is happy. And this has been going on. How many years have I been doing this column? We on year 32 or something like that now. Okay, most relationships end. People break up. Most of them. Either it's a breakup in the dating or it's a divorce in there if they're married. Okay, most relationships don't work. They work for a short time and then that's pretty much it. So, why are you equating the fact that they're in a relationship that they're like bouncing on clouds with joy or something is kind of amazing. They're probably envious of you because, a lot of married women be like trying to be like they wishing they were still single, like their friends. Quiet as it's kept. Exactly, giggle. It's like, I'm just like, sometimes, like I still go out with people here and there, friends be trying to hook you up and stuff, clients. And I go out occasionally, but most of the time these days, I don't know, I just have so much I'm thinking about doing and I want to do. And then, when they want to like talk to you on the phone, they ain't talking about nothing. So you just sitting there and I'm looking at my watch like, oh shit, I could have done this and that and this and that and the other third. In all this time he's sitting there talking to me about some bullshit I don't even care about. And so, or then they want to go out and then you got to pick an outfit and you got to put on your makeup and you got to do other stuff. And, it's like, oh, this is just exhausting. I'm already tired before I even get on the date. And you just don't even feel like it. Sliver finally done showed up. We only doing 16 questions. Wait, at 15, what did I say? Shit, I don't even remember. But we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, 16 questions. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do the call in advice show tomorrow. Let me show you guys what that is. Hold on. Where's that thing? Here it is. Okay, so you get your advice on the spot. It's $10. That's US dollars if you're from Canada or Mexico or someplace where they have yens and wands and stuff, okay? Use Cashapp Debsterism. There it is right there. Or you can use paid with Facebook. I mean, what's Facebook? What is this? YouTube super chat thing. $10 American dollars. And then you try to have your question prepared in a like a Word document or something, or some kind of way where you can cut and paste. Because most of y'all type that fast, and we trying to get through the show like in less than 6 hours. We doing a little hunting, pecking, typing. But that's how that works, and that'll be tomorrow. Okay. All right, let's move on to question number 13. It's female 28 to 34 from Tampa, Florida. Males 28 to 34. Summary of issue. My boyfriend went to a strip club behind my back. Okay, and whew, my friend and I were attending an event in South Florida. My boyfriend went to a strip club during this event. He took my car since he dropped us off and didn't tell me where he was going. Wow, you must be like putting boyfriend in a chokehold. My brother was working nearby and was expecting to meet up with him. My brother works long hours in the week, so he really wanted to catch up on some sleep when possible. Like past 6:30 at night, he's done for the day. Okay, who cares? You talking about your boyfriend, now you want to tell me your brother's life story? So anyways, our boyfriend went to a strip club, which is known for being a warehouse size. Going to this particular club is on his bucket list, he had told me. He says he got food, checked it out, and then left. I believe him in this aspect. I just do not like him going behind my back. I asked him why not just tell me. He said it's because I would be upset. I told him I'm more upset that he attempted to hide it. Only found out because my car notifies me when it's parked. So I texted him, well, you just really want to put him in a chokehold. This is amazing. So I texted him and my brother since I thought they were together. My brother was so confused, tried to call him 3 times to link up, but my boyfriend didn't pick up. I accepted his apology, but I can't help but feel off about it. We've been dating for over a year, so I'm very serious about him. I told him basically forget you and your bucket list if it's going to place us in a bad spot. He understands, but I don't know. I'm still upset and I do not know how to approach all this. What you're going to do is get into your own head and figure out why the fuck you need to be monitoring somebody so closely. That's a grown ass man. Y'all, didn't you say y'all in the 28 to you in the 28 to 34 age group and you trying to tell him, well, you need to tell me where you going like you his mommy. This is not gonna work. You keep this up. He's gonna leave you. Because no man wants to be with a woman who is that insecure or controlling. It's never going to work. So you need to get your shit straight. He don't need to tell you everywhere he's going, everything he's doing. You ain't his mother, nor are you his wife. And in neither situation do you need to know everywhere that he's going because he's a grown-ass man, not a little minor child. So I'm really trying to figure out, you texting people that's supposed to be together and your car notifying you when it's parked and, he's doing stuff behind your back and stuff. Your ass is so insecure and controlling, it's not even funny. You need to go get on the streets couch and work that out. Because ain't no man in this world going to stay with you under them circumstances. You just make somebody feel like they're a dog on a leash. That's not sexy. Okay, it's not fun. And you just gonna be fucking up everything. Question 14. This is a female 22 to 27 from Los Angeles, male 22 to 27 as well. Same issue. After getting a termination, I am starting to view my life, relationships, and men differently. Oh, I'm just 23 and I accidentally got pregnant last month. Everything about it was difficult because I was so emotional. I kept reviewing the week that I was on and curious about what was happening, but I know I had to go through with this, exhausted almost every day. The person I was involved with was greatly encouraged the termination, and although I agreed, I still felt emotional. After this short journey, I feel like I have another opportunity to prioritize myself. I don't really know what I'm doing with him when I know I always have to second guess him, and I always left feeling he gets what he wants, and I'm left feeling emotional about everything. I was happier and less critical of myself when he wasn't in my life. Well, that's easy to remedy. Right now, I feel incredibly grateful for the staff that were at the place and who supported me. And I could cry by the way my mother never judged me and was there for me. I feel like I got a reset button. How do I continue moving forward with this mindset? It felt like a huge wake up call. And for once, since forever, I feel like my life is literally in my hands. I want to make the best of it. Okay, well, you start. There's two things you need to do. Number one, break up with this dude. Number two, if you're going to be sexually active, get your ass on some solid, dependable birth control. You're only 23 years old. You got a whole bunch of life to live before you start popping out babies. Okay, so I am fully in your corner. Your mother was excellent to support you through this. You would have fucked up your life having a baby with that clown. Luckily, you made the right decision. I'm glad he was supportive of that because he didn't want to pay child support. But I'm glad because it keeps you from having to be tied to him for 18 years because he's a knucklehead. Okay. Now, you say you feel like you got a reset button. That's true. And time to prioritize yourself. So what you need to do is figure out what it is that you want to do. And then you need to start doing it. Okay. Because messing around with him, that's not something that you want to do anymore. Right. So what are you going to replace that with? What are your goals for yourself? When you look into your future for 2, 3, 5 years, what do you want to be able to say that you accomplished? Whatever you put on that list, then those are the things you start working on in that order. Okay, because you got like an immediate goal, mid-range goals, and long-term goals. You figure out what those things are, and then you start putting your shit together to make that shit happen. By the time you're 30, you're 23, so you got 8 years. Okay, that's what you do. And don't you get pregnant, and any man that you feel like makes you feel devalued, and and you're unhappy, you break it off. I understand why you would stay in a relationship with somebody that's making you feel that way. That was kind of silly, but at least you didn't make the situation permanent by having a kid with him. Question number 15. This is a female in 22 to 27 age group from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Summary of issue. My friend group. Oh, here we go again. Guys that are 27, 25, and 26 want to have a guys' night without me. How do I get over being upset about it? I have a friend group that consists of myself and 3 guys. We've been friends for a long time. My friends want to get together and have a guys' night without me. I understand, but at the same time, I don't understand. I'm an original member of our group and don't understand why it should matter if I'm there or not. It hurts that they want to hang out without me. How do I get over it? You think about the fact that they all have dicks and you don't have one. What does that mean? That means there's going to be a lot of testosterone flowing, and they're going to be talking about crazy shit like men do when they get together. And you don't need to be a part of it. Okay, you don't need to be there. Having you there with your tatas and coochie is going to upset the apple cart. It's going to skew things. It's going to make them have to handle their words and stuff and be different people than they would be if it's just the 3 of them, all dudes. The stuff they're going to talk about, the crass, crude jokes they're going to make, the crazy stuff they're going to say to each other, you don't need to be a part of it. At some point, you have to realize that you're a young lady now. Okay, you guys might have been friends when you were teens and little kids and stuff, and that's fine because you're all kids. But now you're a grown up, you're an adult. Okay, get you some female friends and stop thinking that you have the right to hang around with 3 dudes because you know what's gonna happen as soon as they get girlfriends and stuff, wives. They're not gonna want to be. The women not gonna want to be looking at you. So it's time for you to start stepping away from this now. You can always be their friends, but you to be having to call them your friend group. Get you some girlfriends. That's gonna be if you gotta have a group, which like I said, I still don't understand that thinking, but whatever. That's the part that you don't get. It's just silly how these girls just don't, you don't, it shouldn't make a difference. You got a pussy. Okay, that's the difference. Let me just be blunt, because you just act like you don't fucking get it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying it makes you different from the other three, and they don't want you there because of that. Okay? Different situation. Understand it and let it go. Go do something with your female friends when they get together. Oh, they probably did when she, like I said, when they were younger, but now she's a full grown woman. So things change, perspectives change. And she's still trying to act like, they still teenagers. No. And they don't want you there. They're gonna be talking about girls in some nasty way. They might be looking at popcorn videos. Who knows what they have planned? But whatever it is, you don't need to be there. It's none of your business, and you don't need to be in your feelings about it either. Even if it was female friends, right? You got a female friend group. 2 or 3 of them can go off and do something without you. You don't have to participate in every single thing. It's the same thing here. They just happen to be all guys, but it's the same principle. Because you're friends with them does not mean you have to be included in everything they do. And you need to get that through your head. I just never seen somebody so entitled in my life. Question number 16. Female 22 to 27, no location provided. The males the same age. Summer issue. I visit my boyfriend when he's in school, and it takes a long time on flights and buses. He just got a car and could pick me up from the airport, but he keeps telling me that gas is too expensive. I think my boyfriend is lying to avoid picking me up from the airport. Well, gas is expensive. Well, it's not that expensive, but it is expensive, but it was like almost close to $1 a gallon less by my house, which is like one of the cheapest gas stations in the area, than where was I today? Where did I go? Oh, I was in Union City. And there was a gas station. Gas was like almost $5. It was like $4.99 something. I was like, what? Who's paying that much money? That's crazy. So anyway, she says, I've been dating Josh for over a year, but we've been friends for a year prior to that. I'm 27, he's 25. Josh is currently doing a university program through the military and lives on campus. For the past 8 months, I've been flying to visit him once a month, and he came to see me over the summer and will be coming at Christmas. So you go see him every month and you spending all that money. Wow. His campus is a 2-hour flight. After that, I have to take a 1-hour trip on the metro to reach the city bus depot, and then take a 2-hour, 10-minute bus to his city. And you doing all that for some dick? You tripping. It usually costs me about $500 in total and takes 10 hours round trip of travel time, but I make good money and have low expenses, so it's not a huge burden, especially since this is temporary. A few weeks ago, my boyfriend's parents bought him a car. I visited in September, and there were no arriving flights that would allow me to catch the bus on time, so he offered to come pick me up. It was a huge relief to not have to schlep through the city with my bags after my flight, and save me a bit of money on the bus fare. He did complain about how expensive gas was, though. Yeah, that was your cue to give him the money for the gas that you would have spent on the bus fare. I'm going to visit again next week, and there was an available flight that landed in time for me to catch the bus. So he asked if I was going to do that, if I would be easier to pick me up again. I said, honestly, it would probably be easier if you just picked me up. He said, yeah, but gas cost me $200 round trip to come and get you, so it'll be way cheaper to take the bus. But the math does not make sense to me at all, unless his car is leaking fuel like crazy. With the current price of gas and the size of his fuel tank, it would cost him $95 to fill from empty using premium fuel. He's saying it costs $200 to drive to the airport and back, which is more than 2 tanks of gas. All this old stuff, she's trying to calculate it all instead of just knowing he'll want to pick you up. Okay, yeah. So the cost to drive me to the airport and back should be $80 max. Were you willing to give him $80? If you did, then he probably would pick you up. But I know he makes significantly less money than me, which is why I have been shouldering the cost of travel until his program is done. But I'm frustrated that I have been spending $500-ish per month and 10 hours of travel time to come see him. And now that he has a vehicle and is able to ease that burden a little bit, he doesn't want to. I'm also afraid he's lying to me about the cost of gas to make it seem so outrageous that the logical conclusion is that I continue to take the bus, even though it's way less comfortable and convenient. It's once per month investment of $80 and 3 hours of time, when I make a visit once a month investment of $500 and 10 hours to visit. Should I say something? Just let it go and take the bus? Stop visiting? Yeah, you should stop visiting. And put your money in the bank and keep it there. That's what you should do. Why you would be spending all this money to do and all that time to go and sleep with him It's kind of amazing when you have men that you can sleep with locally for free. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. No, that's not gonna happen. I just don't understand it. Yeah, it couldn't be me either, Mo, because I'm cheap. I'd be looking at that $500. I'm like, wait a minute. Every month? Ain't no they worth all that. I'm sorry. It can't be that good for that to be happening. I can't do that. And that would be my answer. So, yeah, you need to rethink this relationship, girlfriend. Because the main thing, like if he's making less money, all you had to do was say, well, don't worry about it. When you get here, I'll fill up the tank, right? And he probably would have done it. But you didn't say that. You figuring out how much you could save after you the one flying your ass around all over the place trying to be with him. You should just be, just stop doing that. If he can't make the effort to come and see you, then just don't see him. Zoom him or something. That's good enough. So anyway, we will be back tomorrow. I got to go in here and make the show page. And we're going to do a few more advice questions because, I have to have some filler while y'all get it together and try to figure out what you're going to do. And then we'll be taking live advice questions. That means you will call in. I'll put the number that you call in across the screen. You pay your $10 on Cash App or on the YouTube Super Chat. And then you type your question or you can call it in. And then I give you an answer in real time. So if you have some crisis situation coming up like this weekend or something, and you need some help figuring it out right now, that's why we do it on Thursdays, because some people have dates the next day, Friday or Saturday, and they need to get some stuff straight and they need some help. So we'll do that tomorrow. At least it'll be that opportunity. If y'all don't call in, then I'll finish up my little questions, probably about 12 of them, and then that'll be it, and we'll deuce out. All right. So you hope that you guys enjoyed tonight's crazy show, and I will see you here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 if you're on the East Coast, 8 if you're Central Time. And just be right here. Hit that subscription button and the instant notification bell in case you forget. So YouTube will send you a reminder. Okay. See you then. Ta-ta.